Hey there, friends. Nibs again. Out here in the garage doing a little bit of goofing around tonight, and I have a head-to-head challenge. I thought I had already done this, but it was a viewer requested recently, and I looked back, and apparently I have never done this one. I'm really kind of surprised myself, but what was asked for me to do was the Umarex Ruger Mark IV against the, oh, that's the Browning Buckmark, sorry. The Umarex Browning Buckmark against the Umarex Ruger Mark IV. They are essentially the same pistol. They have different looking sights and stuff on them, and the triggers are a good bit different between the two of them. But essentially they're the same mechanism inside, so I would expect them to shoot pretty consistently the same at a target. But the Ruger is definitely the older one. I bought the Browning Buckmark after I had bought that Ruger initially and did a video on it, and somebody suggested that I get this one. So we'll go ahead and shoot the Browning Buckmark first. We are shooting almost 7 yards across the garage here, so I do have a splatterburst, 2-inch splatterburst set up, but they're on also the targets with some rings on the outside, so if I don't hit the splatterburst, the outer rings will be like a 5 and a 6, I think. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be using these Daisy wad cutter pellets. Both of these guns shoot these pellets really well. At least that's what I've found over. Ooh, that one is defective. It had flash going all the way around the outside of the head. It would have never even chambered in the gun. But I'll check each one of these, make sure we have a decent looking pellet going into the chamber so we don't end up with a flyer because of that. But let's go ahead and see what we can do. These guys both have automatic setting triggers or safeties. The Browning does have a little bit better trigger. I've worked on both of these triggers compared to some of my other target pistols that I've got. These are still very woeful, but they're a lot better than they were out of the box. So, but let's go ahead and see what we can do. Both of these are they're fun plinkers, fun shooters, and if you manage the trigger well, they can be a very accurate target shooter too. Just a little bit above the last one. The one thing I do like about these Browning Buckmarks that I wish the Ruger, they would have thought about that on the Ruger, is these actually have a little bit of Picatinny rail up here on the top where you could mount a red dot or some sort of little pistol scope or something like that on there. The Ruger has absolutely no provisions for mounting any kind of optic on it, so you're really set with just using the open sights unless you want to drill and tap it. And I don't know if you'd even be able to with the way that the piston is arranged on the top of that, but I have two of these. This is my second one. The other one I have a red dot on, and it is spot on. I actually have done a video on that one, how amazingly accurate this thing can be with a red dot on it. All right, there we go. It's funny, the Ruger Mark IV video, when I first bought that Mark IV and did a video out at the range with it, is the most popular video on my channel, the most popular video my channel has ever had. Almost 50,000 views now. So I don't know what it is with the algorithm with that video, but I wish the algorithm would pick a few of my other ones and do that with them. Oop, that one hit a little low, but it's still out in those rings, so we're gonna score out into there as well. All right, let's see if I can get another one in the splatter burst here. I did not see where that one hit, but we'll figure it out when I review the footage and add the scores up. So here is the Mark IV. As you can see, there's nothing there, no way to mount an optic any easy way anyway. But let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Like I said, that my other Browning, I've got a red dot on it, and I can almost guarantee I could shoot that one into that red center dot almost every shot. This I do like the sights. I do like the open sights on this Ruger. For whatever reason, I can just focus on these a lot better than the Browning. Oh, automatic safety got me. I was squeezing the trigger and I was like, I know the thing's woeful, but I know it ain't that bad. This Ruger is can be a shooter, even with the woeful trigger. If you manage it right, it can do the job. Oop, that one went low. That was all the gun. That was a good shot by me. I'm pretty certain. So these are a $50 plinker pistol. So you know you're not going to expect. I don't expect them to shoot like a Beeman P3 or something like that. They are a lot of fun. They're very cheap. Good little practice pistol for if you've got a Ruger Mark IV. Just giving you the feel and the sight. The sight picture very similar. I don't have a Ruger Mark IV, but I have several Ruger Mark IIs, and this feels very much like that gun. So I can't call that yet. Let me go ahead and pause the camera. I'll add those up and we'll see where we're at. Stand by. Alrighty, so that was some very interesting results. Both of them shot really pretty good. As good as I can shoot them with the triggers that they have. But we did end up with, you guessed it, a tie between the two of them. We had, for the Browning, we had 3 8s, a 9, and a 7. So I counted the red as a 10. The next ring out would be a 9. The last ring on the splatter burst would be an 8, 7, and 6. So that was a 7. That was the lowest score for the Browning. And we ended up with a 40. And then for the Ruger, actually, I think it was the very first shot was this 10, hit the red ring there. And then we had a 9 there. And then the 6 out here in this outer ring. Then an 8 here. And the final one here split that 7 ring. So that was a 7. So that one ended up with a 40 as well. And I called it as a tiebreaker because it did hit the red center bullseye. I did count that as the tiebreaker for the Ruger Mark IV. So there you go. The Ruger Mark IV takes this one. Such a close matchup, though. Kind of what I expected because they basically are internally the exact same gun, same barrel, same piston. The trigger shape is different. I like the trigger shape if you look at how that one's kind of more up and down, the trigger shape on the Browning is a little more, the bottom sticks out. It's a little bit tougher to get a good, that one's a lot easier to get a good finger on that, the bottom of that trigger, to get a good pull on it. So I really like the feel of the actual trigger on the Ruger. I wish they would do something as far as making the actual trigger a little bit better. I've done some work on it. It's as good as I can get it. Went from, this thing was probably 10 or 11 pounds trigger pull, and I've got it down to 4 or 5, I think. So it is manageable now, and there you go. That is a real fun head-to-head challenge. If you guys know what I got out here in the garage, I've got a pretty good collection of pistols, this and that, and CO2s and single-stroke pneumatics, all sorts of neat and unusual stuff. If you want to see some head-to-head challenge, maybe I've already done it, but it might be worth doing again. Go ahead and suggest down in the comments down below. It's a lot of fun interacting with you guys and hearing your suggestions. If it's something that I've already done and it's a pretty definitive result, I may just say, hey, I did that, and I can't put a link in the description because YouTube doesn't allow it because of porn bots. But I do have a bunch of playlists down below, and one of my playlists is head-to-head challenges. So if you look in just that playlist, you'll see most, if not all, of the head-to-head challenge. I try to put them all in there, but I'm not sure if I got every single one of them. But that's where most of my head-to-head challenges are. But there you go. The Ruger Mark IV, Umarex Ruger Mark IV, takes another win out here in the garage. I've done this head-to-head challenge against several other guns, and it's usually a very competitive shooter. So it is still available for sale, and you can look in my Amazon storefront down below, and you'll find this. They're $50-$60, somewhere in that neighborhood, and it's a fun and very fun plinking gun to get. So I hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.